Hey everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel, and today I'm doing another video. Now, as many of you know, today I'm doing an interview with another Next Step cast member. Now, I'm very excited to chat to this person because they were Grace's accomplice at the end of season 9. They were the dance captain of Team France, they were involved in some of Maria's schemes, but eventually they came out on top and were very, very lovely and managed to save the Next Step. And yeah, their character went on such a journey through season 9, so it's going to be amazing to chat to them today. So today Savanna is joining me, who played Camille on The Next Step.
Hi, my name is Savanna WRIGHT. I play Camille on The Next Step. And yeah, I had the great opportunity of being on this amazing show that I've watched for so long, and I'm just happy to be able to talk with you guys today.
Thank you so much for joining me, Savanna. So today we're going to be talking about your time on The Next Step. But to start off the interview, I want to take you right back to the start of your Next Step journey and really dive into your audition process. So what was it like auditioning for the show, and why did you decide to audition for it?
Yeah, me and my sister, it kind of came across, and we've been watching the show since we were like kids, and we just heard that they were having auditions, and we were kind of like, okay, I think we have to audition. So we just went for it. And the audition process, it was a lot of fun. Like, we got to just learn a combo, and then I got to meet a lot of other people that I'm friends with to this day. And it was just a really fun experience. And me and my sister, we just gave it our everything. And then, yeah, we heard back, I think, a little bit after that. So it was a lot of fun, and I'm happy I got to do it with my sister especially. So yeah.
Oh, it must have been amazing to do it with someone from your family. I mean, that would be such an opportunity to make so many memories. Now, your character came in the second half of season 9. So what was the first day of set like? Was it really exciting? Was there anybody who you bonded with initially?
Yeah, it was pretty exciting. Like, I think you grow up seeing it on TV and you're like, oh my gosh, what does it look like? So when I got there, I was like, wow, this is kind of what it looks like, what it feels like. And I remember a couple of scenes that I got to watch when I was younger. And then it was pretty quiet the first day I went there, so there wasn't a lot happening, but I just got to get a lay of the land, kind of have an idea of what TNS really felt like. And then I really bonded with Blake. He plays Anthony on The Next Step, and I know him outside of The Next Step, so it was just great getting to work with him. It was great getting to be around the TNS people as well, and then being able to meet a couple of the Team France people that day. So first day it was pretty quiet, but I think it was just, I was soaking it up and I was just getting to absorb everything. So yeah.
Oh, it must have been incredible. And I guess it's kind of good that the first day was quiet, just to kind of give you the chance to get to know everything. And I think one of your first scenes on the show that we really saw your character with, was it the Team France studio when you were talking, your character was talking with Kenzie. But what was it like getting to work with Emily, who plays Kenzie? I mean, she's been on the show, I think, for 4 seasons now, so it must have been fun working with her.
Yeah, it was surreal. It was pretty well because I just remember like really being nervous that day because there was a lot of lines I had to remember, and then along with the accent, like I was like, okay, there's things I have to do. And she just came in and she's so professional. She's a great actress and she was just on it, and she kind of like made me feel comfortable, made me feel really relaxed, and it felt more of like a conversation rather than there were any cameras or any screens or anything. And she was just amazing. I was just so happy that was the first one and I kind of got it out of the way, but it was a lot of fun, and I'm so happy that I got to, act alongside and with her. So yeah, that was fun.
It sounds like working with her was just so fun, and like you said, it's really good to hear that she was really calming and kind of helped you kind of get into your role. And you mentioned your accent then, and I didn't know whether you would actually have a French accent because it was really, really good. So what was it like learning the accent? Was it okay, or was it a challenge?
It was a little challenging. I grew up doing French immersion, so I did a little bit of French in school, but I think it was just, having to do a couple words in different ways than I would like to pronounce them. So I think one of them was having to say this and then this. So it's the opposition of it all. So it was just constantly reminding myself, but I love the challenge of being able to be on set, remember my lines, and then with an added accent. So all of that, it was challenging, but it was fun.
I bet it was fun, and it must have been interesting kind of playing around, like you said, with those different words. Now your character shone at internationals, you got to be part of a lot of dances, but what would you say was your favourite one to be a part of? I mean, they were so iconic.
I think I want to say Notorious was probably my favorite to do. In rehearsals, it was really fun to learn. But I think just the energy, it was super hype, it was super chill, super fun. And I got to do that one with my sister as well. But I also got to do it with a couple of Team France and then Emily as well. So it was just super hype, it was super fun. And I was just happy I got to do that one. That one is one that I think I continuously remember. So yeah.
It was such a good dance, and I remember watching it for the first time just being so happy and just so shocked in some ways because of all of the dance moves. It was very, very impressive. Now, your character was part of a very iconic storyline in season 9. You know, we saw Grace take down the next step, and your character was kind of her accomplice. You know, your character was kind of going and sneaking around, but when you read that part of the script, how did you feel, like, knowing you were going to be on a villain on the next step?
It really didn't click at first. I was kind of reading it as the days went, and I was like, oh, I do a couple things here and there. And then it clicked one day, and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm going to be kind of mean. So it was I was kind of sad, but then I was like, okay, I can kind of play around with this. So I was shocked, to be honest. I was like, oh my gosh, she does all these things to everybody else. So it was kind of nice to know that I got to work alongside Grace as well and kind of, play with, the opposition of it all. But to be honest, I read it. It didn't even click until a couple days later. I was like, oh, I'm kind of mean. So yeah, I was just shocked.
It must have been fun to kind of, I guess, play around and act mean in some ways. I mean, your character was a part of some very schemy things. I mean, we saw the whole Pascal and Heath stuff, all of the Grace kind of taking him down from the inside. It must have been fun to kind of play around with that. And one episode where a lot of the drama took place was the party episode. You know, we saw Maria coming back and Team France really kind of showing their true colours in some ways. So what was it like filming the party episode? It must have been a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was fun. I kind of struggled a little bit. It was difficult because I had to be super mean and super serious. And there were like things that I had to do to specific people. And this party scene was just so much fun. Like, even when we weren't rolling, everybody was just having fun. We were laughing, we were talking. But I had to stay super focused and super militant almost. So I was struggling because I couldn't laugh. So there were a couple takes where I did laugh, but it was just fun overall to be able to, once again, I think really focus and hone in on who Camille was and what she was there to do. So being able to kind of, mess with things, but off camera trying to focus and not laugh and enjoy with everybody else. It was a bit hard, but once that was done, I was happy that, I could laugh and, let it off. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it was a really, really cool episode. I mean, I don't know if I'm assuming you've seen the season 6 prom episode. It had the kind of same similar vibes as that. And it must have been hard, like you said, having to be so serious and so mean in such a kind of fun situation. Now, speaking of things that were fun in season 9, Internationals was amazing. And, we saw the studio transformed into this incredible stage. Now, what was it like getting to be a part of Internationals, and what was kind of your favourite parts of that?
Yeah, I think Internationals, just the energy when we were on set, it really did feel like it was an Internationals happening. Usually, we're just filming and there's things that we're going back and forth between. But I think when we were filming, I really felt this is Team France and TNS, kind of competing. So it did feel like the energy amongst everyone did feel like there was Internationals happening. But I think my favorite part, I think it was just being able to have the angst of oh my gosh, what's going to happen? Even though I kind of preemptively knew what was going to happen, it was just the angst of watching with everybody and waiting for the answer and waiting for the response. So I think just being able to be in the room at that time was it was super surreal, and I was happy I got to experience that. So yeah.
It must have been an incredible thing to experience. The set design people transformed the studio. It looked absolutely fantastic. And over your time on the show, you got to work with a range of people. We spoke about what it was like working with Emily. You also got to work with Brianna. But who was your favourite cast member to work with overall, and why?
I have a lot. I think I was grateful to work with everybody, but I think it really comes back down to my sister. I just got to work with her, and we don't have the chance to work with one another a lot. And the fact that I think I was able to just be on the show and work with, Emily and Blake and so many other people, but being able to do it with my sister was like something super surreal that's like once in a lifetime. So I think working with her and getting to see her in her moment and kind of step back and watch her do her thing sometimes was pretty cool. And then I think just seeing everybody, like there's just moments where I just stand there and I just watch and be like, wow, like this is happening right now. It's pretty cool. So yeah, I think that's what I have to say about it. Yeah.
I mean, it must have been, like you said, once in a lifetime opportunity to work with her. And it must have been amazing kind of sharing a stage with someone you care about so much. It must have been amazing. And now we've spoken a little bit about the scenes you're a part of on the show. And, you know, some other scenes that we've not mentioned yet were, you know, the whole Kenzie kind of getting her away from internationals, doing the audition storyline. But what would you say was your favourite scene to be a part of and why?
I think my favorite scene, there was a scene where we were all just watching somebody perform and we all got to dance and just have fun with one another. And, you know, Team France and TNS, we were just dancing and having fun. And in that moment, I think like I didn't have to be mean. I didn't have to have a French accent. I didn't have to focus on too many lines. I just got to enjoy the experience. And really like it reminded me of what TNS is and what it was when I was watching it growing up. So I think in that moment, once in a while, every time I go back and I think about it, I'm like, wow, like that was surreal. Like it was so much fun. And I think I just got to shed all of the, you know, other things that I had to think about and really just enjoy the moment with everybody. So there's that moment that I think about quite often. Yeah.
It must have been amazing. And I think like one good thing about the competitions at the next step is that it does give that opportunity for everyone to kind of, who normally do have lines and things, kind of step back and watch everyone dance. It must be really, really fun to do. And now I've heard from other people who I've interviewed recently about the next step season 9 that there have been a lot of fun moments with Team France and a lot of fun moments at internationals. But have you got any stories or memories that you'd like to share from your time on the next step season 9?
There's one that I remember, and I think every time I hear this song specifically, Team France and, you know, TNS, there's a song that came out around the time by Victoria Monet, On My Mama, and there's a dance break in the music video done by Sean Bankhead, and every single time we'd just be standing or we'd be waiting or we're just, you know, waiting to roll or we're even in the green room, we'd like break out into song and would start doing the combo and start singing and start dancing. And it was just hilarious. And every time, even now when I hear the song, I just think back like when we were on set and we were doing that. So I think that was the most fun, and I think that was like the little story time I have for that. And you know, even like between Emily and Blake and even Benjamin and a couple other people that I got to do that with as well. And then Team France, like we were super close, so we got to, you know, do that all of the time, and somebody would just break out in song and do it. So it was a lot of fun, and that's something every time I hear that song I'm like, oh my gosh, we did that all the time. So yeah, that's what I remember.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that memory. And I think one good thing about the next step is that everyone has that common love of dance. So it must have been really fun to kind of have that common interest and, you know, play around with that breaking section. And now, Savanna, it's been amazing talking to you today about your time on the next step. So I just wanted to thank you for taking the time out of your day to come and chat with me. It's been lovely.
Yeah, no, thank you. It was a pleasure being able to talk with you.
No worries. And thank you to everybody who watched this interview. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you very soon for another one. Bye, guys.
Bye.